Greetings everyone. Welcome to yet another content from Throttle Alpha. Today we are taking a look at one of those helmets that is the marvel of modern day technology. This helmet has a lot to offer, and this is our take on the pros and cons of the Suomy SRGP. So the SRGP is a racing helmet that raises the bar of high performance and takes the known standards which are already available to the next level. Used by the highest number of MotoGP riders, 19 to be precise, it is a helmet that's committed to track-oriented performance and racing like none other. Today we're going to take a look firstly at the shell for this helmet. The graphics that we have here is the black graphics infused with red contours, and I think that the graphics just looks perfect for the way it's been designed. The shell is mainly composed of a new composition. It's mainly carbon infused with amarid resin materials that allows the helmet to be very light, at the same time very hard to absorb more and more impact. This composition is called TRI-CARBOCO in Suomy's term, and I think this composition has been a great job done with this helmet because this is one of the lightest helmet that I've ever worn yet, weighing about 1250 grams. This helmet is mainly EC certified for our region, but globally there are different certifications available at different regions. So we're mainly getting the EC certified helmet, and the FIM regulated helmets are mainly approved for FIM racing like MotoGP. So MotoGP riders mainly use the FIM oriented or FIM approved helmets, but we mainly get the EC approved helmets for our region. There are mainly two types of shell available for this helmet, the carbon, which is much lighter, and the shell that we are getting, the TRI-CARBOCO. This is mainly the one which are used in MotoGP for greater protection. The carbon is comparatively lighter, but then again for safety purposes they use the TRI-CARBOCO helmets in the MotoGP segments. Now coming to the second point for the SRGP, the aerodynamic. With a drag coefficient of 0.39, it is the best in the world applied yet. So coming to some straight facts about this helmet has a top speed record in MotoGP of 356 km per hour, contributed by Andrea Dovizioso in 2019. And in corners, this helmet is so stable, not prone to wind blasts at all, that it obtained an average speed of 210 km per hour in GP cornering. And the drag coefficient for this helmet in corners is about 0.40. And in terms of long endurance rides or long-term rides, since you have no head push from winds for this helmet, when you're tucked in or in crouched positions, this helmet is a comfortable choice for long rides too. Since you're getting a helmet that's very light and aerodynamically so good, this helmet is a very comfortable choice in that perspective. And since the SRGP is wind tunnel tested, so you have absolutely no question about the aerodynamics of this helmet. So coming to the third factor about the SRGP, the ventilation. I must say this helmet is one of the best helmets that I've used till date that has such good airflow. The helmet has 6 air intakes in total and 3 air extractors through the rear. What happens is that when you open the forehead vent, this allows a lot of air to channel through the top vents and push throughout the rear extractors so that you get a linear airflow going through the front till the rear. And since you have aerodynamics applied to this factor as well, now the two submerged top vents allows air from the forehead vent to go through the top and get extracted through the rear vents, and they call it NACA air intake. What happens is that through the linear airflow that the helmet is encountering, it creates a Venturi effect from the front section till the rear. So this airflow is designed in very critical thinking, and I think this is by far one of the best airflows I've encountered in any helmet. There are actual holes in the chin vent area to the opposite of the vent, and in the forehead area the factor is the same too, which allows a complete draw through the bottom and the top of the helmet. There's an air scoop at the top too that allows for the hot air extraction through the rear vents as well. And now coming to the fourth factor about the SRGP, it's the visor. It consists of an optical class 1 visor, which is by far one of the best visors I used in terms of clarity. The visor has a thickness of about 3.5 millimeters, and the visor too in terms of weight is very light. The visor has about 92 degrees of vertical view and about 210 degrees of horizontal or peripheral view, and it is one of the highest in the world. The visor supports pin lock 120, and about the vertical viewing angle, I would like to add one thing is that when you're tucked in or in crouched positions, you have no certain neck pressures because you are allowed to have a certain amount of good view of selecting apexes and other things from the vertical viewpoint. So I think this visor has a great viewing angle in terms of vertical and peripheral view both. And the visor consists of a roto translation movement which allows the visor to be completely sealed off and let no gap remain between the shell and the visor. And there are dual visor locks for this visor. You can lock or unlock the visor from the front section via this key, and there's a side lock for the visor as well. So I think the visor has also been a very good addition for the Suomy SRGP. Now coming to the internals and the padding for the SRGP. Firstly, I would like to mention that there's an integrated breath deflector in the front. And now coming to the padding has been developed with some R&D and research as well. Padding is developed using a bio-infrared ray mechanism which allows the padding to adjust the temperature by itself. Now whenever you're in cold temperature outside, the internal seems to adjust to a warm temperature, and when you have warm or humid temperature outside, the internal tends to stay cool. And since you have the addition of very good airflow along with this technology, for our country's perspective, since we have a very hot and humid weather outside, this has to be a very good addition. And the padding tends to wick sweat very easily and tends to stay odor free as well, like it's been developed that way, and it's made of breathable textile. So I think the padding's pretty comfortable too. Initially it might feel a bit hard, but I think it will adjust over time. And since this is a track or racing oriented helmet, you might find a few certain helmets in this budget with a more comfortable padding. But I think then again, this padding has been an excellent foundation of contribution for this helmet. And since you have the extra benefits of comfortable aerodynamics with good airflow for this helmet as well, I think the bio-infrared ray developed padding system has also been a very solid contribution for this helmet. And the liner is washable and removable too, so you can take it out anytime and give them a wash. And another good addition is that you have an emergency padding undocking for this helmet. Like if you ever encounter a serious injury or a heavy crash, you can easily release the padding out at once to avoid serious injuries to your head. So I think these type of small attributes really contributes a lot for this helmet. Another addition for this helmet is that this helmet is ready for hydration system. Like you have a mounting in the front of the helmet to allow hydration system or small tubes of the hydration system to be inserted via the front of the helmet. Since track oriented or GP riders required to get hydrated very often, so I think this is a very excellent addition with the helmet as well. And you have a strap buckle system for this helmet, not a micrometric belt. There's an air filter integrated in the front or the chin vent area. The key for the front vent is below the port for the hydration system, and the air filter is in this portion where the air is drawn to the front of the helmet. So the air filter is a very good addition in the chin vent area, because you see, since we are already affected by a viral outbreak at this moment, such small things really matter at this point of time because it's crucial now. So I think that's a very good thinking added with the helmet as well. Now coming to a few minor cons with this helmet. The first con would be the noise cancellation. Due to the very good airflow and so many intakes involved in the SRGP, this helmet tends to be a bit noisy in terms of city riding. And this is not a problem in track-oriented riding because track riders tend to use earplugs, so noise is not a problem for them. But I think for our loud Dhaka street, and since we have so much of sound pollution, the noise cancellation of this helmet can be a bit poor. And the second con for the helmet would be that this helmet is not intercom ready. And it's understandable because it's a track oriented helmet. If they have to compromise on internal materials or the EPS constructions by the side of the helmet, it reduces safety. So in that standard, this helmet is not intercom ready. And this is by far the most expensive helmet that I'm reviewing. It's currently 49K in our local market. And in that perspective, I would like to add another con is that this helmet does not have an integrated sun visor, and that too is forsakeable because to keep this helmet completely in track oriented terms, they had to cut off a few luxury additions for this helmet. So I think these few cons aren't actually cons, but in a certain way it's helping out this helmet to be faster and more racing oriented. So I think that these were the few certain cons I could add up for this helmet. Otherwise, this helmet has been by far the lightest and one of the best helmets that I've reviewed till date. So I hope this video helped you understand the Suomy SRGP a bit better. It's available at GearX officially. I will mention the pricing and all the other necessary details in the description box below. Do check it out, and do like and share this video if this video has been helpful for you. And do subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Stay connected with Throttle Alpha. Till next time, thank you.